Have you ever felt like your work is just bogged down? You're buried in reporting, sitting through endless meetings, and navigating these really complex hierarchies? Well, it turns out that old idea that being big and complex means you're safe is pretty much over. There's a new, lighter, much faster way of doing things that's taking over. So the real question is, how do we break free from all that weight? Let's dive in and explore the blueprint for this new, lightweight world. So, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to talk about why the old, heavy way of working is failing us. Then we'll get a clear definition of what this new, lightweight civilization actually is. After that, we'll check out some of the pioneers who are already killing it in this new environment. And most importantly, I'm going to give you 5 concrete things you can do to start making a change. And finally, we'll zoom out and look at what all this means for the future of how we work. All right, let's get right into it. Why is this huge shift happening right now? For the past 200 years, the playbook for success was pretty straightforward. But the funny thing is, the very rules that built giant empires are now the exact things holding them back. So you've got this contrast, right? On one side, you have the heavy civilization that, let's be honest, a lot of us are so stuck in. It's all about rigid hierarchies, decisions that take forever, and just layers and layers of complexity. And then on the other side, you've got this lightweight civilization, which is all about being flexible, moving fast, and keeping things simple. This is really the central battle of our time. That old formula from the industrial age, where we believed that massive organizations with top-down control were the safest and most stable, yeah, that's actually a huge disadvantage now. In a world that runs on AI and instant digital communication, being big and slow isn't a strength anymore. It's a major liability. The key question has totally flipped from how big is your team to how fast can you adapt? Okay, so if the old way is broken, what exactly are we supposed to be building to replace it? Let's put a really clear definition on this whole idea of a lightweight civilization. At its core, this is a huge shift in what we value. We're moving away from a world that just worshipped massive, rigid structures, and into one where small, flexible, and cooperative teams are the real engines of progress. The new rule is so simple: be nimble, not massive. And the source material just nails it with this phrase: a society that connects lightly, transitions quickly, and grows together. See, it's not about having weak connections. It's about having efficient connections that let you pivot on a dime and win as a team. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, it really comes down to 5 main pillars. First up, we've got the end of bigness, where speed beats size every single time. Second, the AI-augmented individual, where one person armed with AI can do the work of an entire team from yesterday. Third, flexible small teams that are built around roles, not ranks. Fourth, a horizontal structure where you get real-time feedback instead of waiting for top-down approval. And finally, using uncertainty as energy, where being agile is way more important than having a perfect plan. Now, this might sound a bit like a far-off theory, but it's not. Some of the most successful companies in the world are already living and breathing this stuff. So let's take a look at these pioneers and see exactly how they're putting these lightweight principles to work. Okay, the first thing you notice about all these companies is this almost radical focus on small teams that can just execute things incredibly fast. They choose experimentation over bureaucracy every single time. I mean, just look at OpenAI. They operate with these small, super elite teams that run these ridiculously fast R&D cycles. Then you've got the fintech giant Toss in Korea, which uses a decentralized cell structure, so teams can just make their own decisions and move. And Dang Yun Market proved you can serve an entire country of users with a surprisingly small team. The pattern here is crystal clear. Empower small teams and you unlock incredible speed. But small teams alone aren't the whole story. The second, and maybe the most powerful ingredient here, is how these teams get their superpowers. They're able to be so lean and efficient because they've woven AI and data into absolutely every part of the business. And you can see this in action across totally different industries. You've got Tesla using AI to automate its factories and push software updates to cars overnight. John Deere is completely changing farming with AI-powered tractors. E-commerce leader Coupang and tech giant Samsung are optimizing everything from logistics to manufacturing with these incredibly smart AI systems. They're all using technology to operate lighter and smarter. But here's the thing. You can have the smallest teams and the smartest AI in the world and still completely fail. The final and absolutely essential piece of this puzzle isn't about technology at all. It's about culture. None of this works without a foundation built on autonomy, collaboration, and trust. Netflix is the classic example, right? Their whole freedom and responsibility culture is designed to minimize hierarchy and empower people to make big decisions. Even traditional giants like Hyundai are catching on, spreading these agile methods through small, focused innovation projects. It really all comes down to trusting your people and just getting the barriers out of their way. Okay, so we've seen the theory, we've seen the proof. Now for the most important part. How can you, yes, you, start making this change yourself, like today? Let's get into a practical toolkit with 5 key actions. This all breaks down into 5 core habits. Think of these as the new operating system for your brain. You're going to simplify how you talk, make AI your new partner, execute and pivot super fast, collaborate across the board, and treat uncertainty as your secret weapon. First up, simplify communication. We have to stop wasting time. Start sharing materials before you meet, so the meeting itself can just be a super focused 15-minute session to make a key decision. And please ditch the long email chains. Use shared docs and messengers where you can get feedback instantly and everyone can see it. Second, you have to start working with AI. Seriously, make it your coworker. Let AI tools summarize your meeting notes or bang out the first draft of that report. This frees you up to focus on what humans are actually good at: high-level strategy, creative thinking, and making sure the final product is top-notch. Third, and this one is a big mental shift, you've got to change how you think about execution. Forget massive year-long plans. Start running small 1 to 2 week pilot projects. The new motto is speed over perfection. And hey, when something doesn't work out, share that failure immediately. The goal isn't to be right the first time. The goal is to learn the fastest. Fourth, it's time to break down those invisible walls. In every discussion, focus on what a person's role is and what they know, not their job title. Encourage people to work directly with folks in other departments, cutting out all those pointless intermediate reporting steps that just slow everything and everyone down. And finally, number 5, learn to love change. Make it a habit to quickly try out and adapt to new tools and new processes. Create a culture where it's safe to learn by actually running failure sharing sessions. You have to start seeing every unexpected change not as a threat, but as an opportunity to learn something new and get even stronger. I really want to leave you with this powerful thought from the source material. Lightness is not weakness, but a condition for flying further. Being lightweight doesn't mean you're less capable. It means you're agile, you're efficient, and you are ready for whatever comes next. It's what gives you the power to really soar. So, as we wrap this up, I have one last question for you. Think about your own work, your own team. What is the very first heavy process? That one meeting that could have been an email, that one report nobody reads, that one approval step that takes a week. What is the first one you are going to change?